Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. I have combined all the videos in our image hover effect series into the single long video so that it's easy for you to follow. Now in this video I'll show you how to design this page right here using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And this is also responsive. So this is how it will look on smaller screens. Now in the end I will also show you how to add this to your Blogger and your WordPress websites. And I will also leave the link of the source code in the description of this video. So let's get started. So this is how it works. We can see that we have these different services or features displayed over here. And if I hover over any of these, we can see that the image is displayed over here in the background. And the same goes with all the other services. So we have different images displayed when you hover over each of these services or features. And this is also responsive. So in the mobile version, this is how it will look. So in the mobile version, we don't have the hover effect and we have all these images displayed by default. But in the desktop version, we have the text displayed, and if you hover over this, we have the images displayed. So we're going to design all of this from scratch using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's get started. Right here I have created this folder called hover image and I just opened it with VS Code. And I also have this folder called images in there, and we have these images which we're going to use in our design. So the first thing we will do is we'll create the necessary file. So let's create a new file called index.html. Let's create another file called style.css. And let's create one more file called main.js. Let's start with the index.html file. Now in VS Code, you can just type exclamation and press tab and you'll have this basic HTML file code. Now here in the head section, let's link our CSS file. And here in the body, I'll just link the JavaScript file. Right now, let's go ahead and start with the markup of our design. So the first thing we will do is we'll create this section. We have created these sections at the top and the bottom so that we have this space to scroll up and down. So let's create a section, and here I'll just add the text hi, and let's create another section, and let's just type some text over here, and in between these two sections we'll just create this section right here. Now for this we'll just create a division with the class of image hover container. So this is going to be the main container. And in that we will have another division, and I'll just call it features container. You can name these classes anything you want. You can add services container or whatever you want. And in this we need to have another division with the class of feature. So this will be each of these individual features. And in this we need to have an anchor tag. And here you can add any link you want. I'll just type hash for now. And here we need to add the text. So I'll just have websites for the first text. And let's open this in our browser and let's see how it looks. So I have this extension called Live Server installed in VS Code. So once you have this installed, you can just right click over here in the HTML and click on Open with Live Server. And now we can see that the content is being displayed in the browser. And let's go ahead and create an img tag over here. And here we will add the image. So I'll just type images / websites.jpg, and we're going to display this image only on smaller screens. So let's also add a class over here. So let's type class equals feature image mobile, and let's go ahead and copy this feature and let's paste it 4 more times. And for the second one we have this text applications. So let's type applications over here, and here in the image let's type applications.jpeg, and then we have debugging. So let's change this to debugging, and here in the image let's type debugging.jpg, and then we have SEO and branding. So let's type SEO, and here in the image let's type SEO.jpg, and here let's type branding, and here let's type branding.jpg. So now we have all these images and all this text displayed over here. So now let's go ahead and style this. So let's go to our style.css file, and the first thing we will do is we will just remove the default margin inside the body. And now let's go ahead and select everything, and let's set the box sizing to border box so that it has the correct width and height for all the elements. And now let's select the sections, and let's give some basic styling for this. So let's tap height and let's set it to 300 pixels, and let's bring the text to the center. So the sections are these two sections that we have created. So this one right here and the last section. So let's bring the text to the center. So I'll just tap display of grid, place items to the center, and let's set the font size to 30 pixels, and let's set the font family to Roboto and sans serif. And here we have this section. Right now, let's go ahead and style these images. Now the images are here with this class of feature image mobile. So let's type feature image mobile. And what we're going to do is we're going to hide these images in the desktop version. So let's set the display to none. And let's go ahead and style these text and the background. So let's select the background, and for the background we have this division with the class of image hover container. So let's target that. I'll just tap image hover container, and for the image hover container let's add a padding of 50 pixels top and bottom and 24 pixels left and right. And let's also set a background color. So for the background color we will just use a background color from CSS gradients. So you can just go to this website called cssgradient.io and go to backgrounds, and you'll find a lot of different backgrounds over here. So I'll just go to gradient hunt, and let's select a background from here. So let's scroll down and let's find a background, and I think this is the matching background. So let's copy this gradient code, and let's go back and let's paste it over here. And now we can see we have this background color. Now let's go ahead and target the feature division. So inside the features container we have the feature division. So let's go ahead and type feature, and let's add a padding of 32 pixels. And now let's go ahead and style these anchor tags. So in the features we have the anchor tags. So let's tap feature A, and first of all let's set the color of the text to white, and let's remove the underlines by typing text decoration to none, and let's set the font family to Roboto and sans serif, and let's set the font size to 36 pixels, and let's set the font weight to bold. Right now we need to bring all of these one next to the other. So we need to display 3 of these on one line and the 2 on the second line. So let's go ahead and target the container, which is features container. So let's tap features container, and let's set the display to grid and grid template columns to 1fr 1fr 1fr, and let's add a gap of 30 pixels between the elements, and let's set the max width to 700 pixels, and let's bring it to the center horizontally. So let's tap margin inline, and let's set it to auto. And now we can see that the text is being displayed correctly. Now we need to display the images when we hover over these text, but we will do that in the next video using JavaScript. But for now, in this video we will add the images in the mobile version. So let's go to the mobile version, and here if you go to the original design, here we can see that this is how the mobile version looks. So let's go ahead and display the images that we have hidden over here. So here we have hidden the image. So let's display that in the mobile version. So let's create a media query. So I'll just tap add media, max width of 900 pixels. And now whatever styles we add over here will be added to the design if the browser width is lesser than 900 pixels. Now when we are on smaller screens, we need to change the background color of this section. So for that, let's take a look at the container, which is image hover container. So let's copy this and let's paste it over here, and let's add a new background color. So let's go to this website and let's go to gradient hunt, and let's select a color from here. So I think this one looks alright. So let's copy this gradient code and let's add it over here. Right now let's go ahead and select the anchor tags. So let's type feature A, and for the mobile version we need to set the background color to 222, and let's set the font size to 26 pixels, and let's add a padding of 8 pixels top and bottom, 16 pixels left and right. Now we need to display just 2 of these elements in a row. So here we have set the grid template columns to 1FR, 1FR, 1FR. So we need to change this to just 1FR, 1FR. So let's copy this and let's paste it over here. And I'll just close the curly braces. And here we need to change this to 1FR, 1FR. Right now let's target the feature. So this is the feature division. And let's add a height and a width for that. So let's type feature. And let's set the height to 240 pixels. And let's set the width to 100%. And now let's display the image. So for the image, we have a class of feature image mobile. So let's copy this. And I'll just paste it over here. And let's set the display to block. And let's set the height of the image to 100% of the parent, which is feature, and the width to 100% of the parent. And let's set the object fit to cover so that it has the correct aspect ratio. Now we need to position this image relative to the feature. So here let's go to the desktop version, and here for the feature let's set the position to relative, and for the feature image mobile let's set the position to absolute. And now let's scroll down, and here let's tap inset 0. So it will set the top, left and bottom and right positions to 0. And now let's add a border radius. So here in the desktop version, let's add a border radius. Now I am adding some styles over here in the desktop version because we're going to add another division with the class of feature image for the desktop version, and it will also have some of these styles, and we're going to generate that using JavaScript. So here we will write the styles for that. So let's type border radius, and let's set the values to 60 pixels, 4 pixels, 30 pixels, 15 pixels / 15 pixels, 30 pixels, 45 pixels, and 60 pixels. So this is how it looks. Now we want the text to be displayed on top of the image. So here for the feature image mobile, let's set the z index to 1. And let's target the anchor tag, which is the text. And here let's set the z index to a higher value. Let's type 3. And now the text is still not being displayed. That's because for the image, we have set the position to absolute. So we need to add some type of position over here for the anchor tag. So let's type position of relative. And now we have the text displayed over here. So it is looking all right. So with that, we have designed the mobile version. Now in the next video, we will create the desktop version using JavaScript. Now this is our source code, and here we have added this media query of max width 900 pixels. So we need to display the hover effect only when we are greater than 900 pixels. So let's go to the main.js file, and first of all let's add an if condition, and let's type window dot inner width is greater than 900 pixels, and we'll write our code inside this if condition. Now the first thing we will do is we will reference all these feature divisions from here, and here let's go ahead and type const, and I'll just call it features equals document.querySelector all, and here let's type feature. Now this will select all the feature divisions and store it inside this constant. Now let's loop through all these features. So let's type features dot for each, and for each of the feature I'll just call it feature. And let's create an arrow function, and here let's create an image. So let's type const, and I'll just call it feature image equals document dot create element, and let's create an img tag, and let's also add a class. So let's type feature image dot class list dot add, and let's add a class of feature image, and let's append this to the feature. So let's type feature dot append child feature image. Now when we hover over this feature, we need to display the image. Now there are multiple ways of doing this. We will do it by creating a data attribute. So here for each of the features, I'll just add a data attribute, and let's create a data attribute called data image src, and let's provide the link of the image. So it is images/websites.jpg, and in this way let's go ahead and add the data attribute for all these features. So here let's change this to applications.jpg, and then we have debugging.jpg, and then we have seo.jpg, and then lastly we have branding.jpg. Now you can also add different images for mobile and desktop versions. So this is for the mobile version, and you can add different image for the desktop version over here. So now let's go to our main.js file, and here let's add an event listener to the feature. So let's start feature.add event listener, and let's add an event called mouse over, and here let's create an arrow function. And first of all, let's get the image URL, which is inside this data attribute, data image src. So let's type const, and I'll just call it image URL equals feature dot get attribute, and we'll get this attribute called data image src. I need to add this image URL to the src of this feature image. So let's type feature image dot src equals image URL, and now let's go to the style.css file, and here for the feature image mobile we have these styles. So let's add this class as well, feature image. Now this is for the desktop version, so let's type feature image, and it will also have these same classes. And now let's go back over here, and when we hover over this feature, or when we bring our mouse over this feature, what we need to do is we need to set the display to block, because here we can see that we have set it to none. So let's type feature image dot style dot display equals block. And now let's add an event listener for mouse out. So when the mouse pointer moves out of the feature, we need to remove this display of block. So let's type feature dot add event listener, and let's listen for the mouse out, and let's create an arrow function, and here let's type feature image dot style dot display equals none. And now let's go back to our website, and now if we hover over this, we can see that the images are being displayed. Now the size is not correct, so let's go ahead and style that. Let's go back, and here let's add some more styles. Let's go ahead and set the width to 240 pixels, and let's set the height to 300 pixels, and let's type object fit to cover so that it has the correct proportions. And we'll also rotate it a little bit, so let's type rotate, and let's set the rotation to -3 degrees, and let's also bring it to the center. So here let's type top of 50% and left of 50%, and let's also type transform translate to -50% and -50% so that it is exactly in the center. And now we can see that the images are exactly in the center. Now the last thing we need to do is when we move this mouse pointer, we also want to move the image. So let's see how to do that. Let's go back, and let's go to the main.js file, and let's add one more event listener. So let's type feature.add event listener, and let's add an event listener for mouse move, and here we will get some values. So I'll just call it E. You can name this anything you want. And here first of all, let's get the information about our feature. So for that, I'll just create a const called rect, and here we need to type feature dot get bounding client rect, and here we need to get the offset x and offset y values, and we need to calculate the position of the mouse pointer. So let's type const, and let's call it offset x, and here we get some value inside E. So let's type E, and let's type dot client x, and then let's type const offset y equals E dot client y. So this will give us the pointer position, and we also need to subtract the left position of the rect so that we get the correct position relative to this feature. So here we need to type minus rect dot left, and here let's type minus rect dot top. And now the last thing we need to do is we need to set the left and the top positions of the feature image to this value. So let's type feature image dot style dot left equals, and let's add backticks, and here let's type dollar symbol, curly braces, and let's add the variable name, which is offset x, and then we need to type pixels over here, and I'll just duplicate this, and here we need to type style dot top, and here we need to type offset y. And now let's go back, and now we can see that the image is moving along with the mouse pointer and everything is working all right. So that's basically how you can add this image hover effect using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now there's one issue with this. If we go outside this feature, we can see that the image is still being displayed. So we need to hide the image when we go out. So for that, you can just go to this style.css file, and here for the feature image class, we can just add pointer events to none so that we won't be able to interact directly with the image. So now if you go back, here we can see when we go outside this feature, the image disappears. So everything is working all right. So that's basically how you can create this effect using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And now let's take a look at the mobile version, and let's see whether everything is fine. And for the mobile version, we have some problems. So let's fix that. And let's scroll down, and here we have the feature image mobile. Now here we can see that we have set the inset to 0, but if you scroll up here for the feature image, we have added these styles. So it is also added to this class over here. So we can just go ahead and remove this inset of 0. And it will reset the values, and it will take the values that we add right here. So now if you go back, now we can see that the mobile version is looking all right. And in the mobile version, we'll also remove the rotation. So let's scroll down, and here let's type rotate 0 degrees. And now we can see that we don't have the rotation in mobile version. And if you take a look at the desktop version, here we have everything working as usual. So with that, we have completed creating this design. Now before adding this to our Blogger website, let's fix a small issue that we have. So if you take a look at this image, we can see that the background is also the same color as the text. So it is not being displayed correctly. So let's go back, and here in the CSS, we just add one line of CSS. So here in the anchor tag, where we have all these text displayed, so here I'll just add mix blend mode, and I'll just set it to difference. Now if you go back here, we can see that the text has different color than the image. So now we can see that the text is being displayed correctly, but it is affecting every other text. So let's go back, and I'll just cut this from here, and we'll just add it to the hover. So let's type feature a colon hover, and let's paste this line of CSS. And now we can see when we hover over this, we have the opposite color displayed for the text. So now let's go ahead and add this to our Blogger website. So let's go to the Blogger dashboard, and I'm using this theme called Contempo Light, which comes by default with Blogger. Now let's go ahead and create a post, and let's add this design to a post. So let's go over here to new post, and I'll just add features. And here first of all, you need to change this to HTML view, and here you can add your code. So let's go to our CSS, and let's copy everything from here till the end, and let's paste it over here inside a style tag. And now we need to paste the HTML code. So let's go back, and let's go to the HTML file, and let's copy this division from here. So this is this image hover container division, and let's paste it over here. And lastly, we need to add the JavaScript. So let's create a script tag, And let's go back and let's go to the main.js file. Let's copy this code from here and let's paste it over here. Right, now the next thing we need to do is we need to add the image URLs over here. So right now it is set to images/websites.jpg. Now we don't have this images folder in our Blogger website. It is inside our local project. So what we need to do is we need to upload this image somewhere and get the link and paste it over here. So I'll just do that right here. So you can just go ahead and click on this insert image button and click on upload from computer. And here you can click on choose files, and here we have these images. So I'll just select all of these and let's click on open. And the images are being uploaded. Right, now let's select all these images and let's click on select. And here I'll just select original size and let's click on OK. And all these images are uploaded and we have the links inside the href. So let's copy this link. So this is for applications.jpg. So let's copy this and let's paste it where we have the applications image. So I'll just paste it over here and here. And let's do the same with the other images. So the next one is this image right here. So let's copy this, and this is for branding. And let's paste it for the branding image, and I'll just paste it over here as well for the data image src. And then we have the next image, which is this image right here, which is for debugging, and I'll just paste it for debugging. And after that we have the other image, which is SEO. So let's copy this and let's paste it for SEO. So I'll just paste it right here and here. And then lastly we have this image right here, which is for websites. So let's copy this and let's paste it over here for websites and here. Now we can go ahead and delete these lines of code. So now let's go ahead and click on publish and confirm. Right, now let's click on view for this post, and here we have these features displayed, and if you hover over this we have the image displayed, and the height and the width of the image is not being displayed correctly. Let's take a look at the mobile version. And this is how the mobile version looks. So we have some problems in the styling. So let's fix that. I'll just go ahead and right click over here and go to inspect. And let's take a look at what's the problem. Now here we can see we have this feature division, and we have set the width to 100%. Let's try and remove the width. So if we remove the width, then we have the correct styling. So let's set the width to auto. So let's go back to our post and let's go to the feature, which is right here, and I think we have the feature over here as well, and we don't have the width over here. So let's scroll down, and here for the feature let's set the width to auto and let's update this. Let's go back to our post and reload, and now we don't have any problems in the images of the mobile version. Now the next problem is that this text is not being displayed correctly. So let's go to this anchor tag, and if you scroll down, here we have some styles added by the theme. So here it is set to word break word. So if we set this value to, let's try normal, now we don't have any problems in the text. So we need to set the word break to normal in our custom design. Now this text is not displayed exactly where we want. So here in our original design, here we can see that the text is displayed inside this image. So let's make the changes over here. So if we take a look at the image, here we can see that the theme has added some styles over here. So here for post body image, the height is set to inherit. So if we remove that, now we can see that the text is being displayed correctly. So we need to set the height of the image inside our design to 100% of the parent. So let's do that. Let's go back and let's go to the image. So here let's go to the feature image mobile, and here for the height we need to add an important so that this style is being added instead of the theme style. So let's publish this and let's reload this page. Now we can see that the text is being displayed inside the image, and we'll also add this word break of normal. So let's go back and let's go to the anchor tag, and here let's type word break normal. And now we can see that it is being displayed correctly. Let's also decrease the font size a little bit. So here for the mobile version, I'll just set the font size to, let's try 20 pixels. And for the mobile version, we don't want to have this mix blend mode. So let's copy this and let's paste it over here, and let's set it to unset, and let's update this. Let's go back to our website, and now we don't have any problems. Everything is looking all right. Let's take a look at the desktop version. Now in the desktop version, we don't have the correct height for these images. So if we take a look at the CSS, here let's open this feature image, and here we can see that here also we have the post body image from the theme interfering with our CSS. So if we remove this height, so if we just set the height to, let's go back to our CSS and let's see what's the height that we set over here. So here we can see that the height is set to 300 pixels and the width 240 pixels. Now here if we scroll down, here we can see that the height was overridden by this theme code. So let's go ahead and add an important for the height. So here for the height, let's type exclamation important. Now this line of CSS will have more importance. So let's update this and let's go back and let's reload this page. Now we also have some issues with the width of the entire container. So let's right click and go to inspect, and here we can see that we have added a max width of 700 pixels. So we need to remove that, and we'll also decrease the padding. So I think we can set the padding to, I think we can just remove the padding for left and right, and for top and bottom I think we can remove the padding altogether. So let's remove the padding of image hover container, and let's remove the max width of feature container. So let's do that. So here for image hover container, let's remove the padding, and for features container, let's remove the max width, and let's update this. And now let's go back to our website and let's reload this page. And now we don't have any problems, and we can see that the image width and height is being displayed correctly. So that's basically how you can add this image hover effect to your Blogger website. Right, so here I have logged into my WordPress dashboard, and if I click on visit site, this is how this website looks right now. And let's go ahead and add this design inside a post. So let's go over here to posts and let's click on add new post. And here let's add a title. So I'll just type services. And now here you can add any content as usual. But when you want to add this design, you have to select this block called custom HTML. So you can just search for custom HTML over here and select it. Now here you can add your HTML, CSS and JavaScript code. So let's add the code over here. So I'll just create a style tag, and in this we can add the CSS code. So let's go to our source code, and I will leave the link of the source code in the description of this video. So here in the style.css file we have all the CSS code. So let's copy from this line of code till the end, and let's go back and paste it over here. And the next thing we need to do is add the HTML. So let's go back and let's go to the HTML file, and let's copy this HTML code from here. So we have copied this image hover container division, and let's paste it over here. And then lastly we need to add the JavaScript. So let's create a script tag for that. And let's go back and let's go to the main.js file, and let's copy all this JavaScript from here and let's paste it over here. And now we need to add the link of these images. So right now it is set to images / the image name, but in our local project we have the images folder. In the WordPress website we need to first of all upload the image and then get the link and paste it over here. So for that, let's go back to the dashboard and let's go to media, And here we need to add the images. So let's click on add media file and let's click on select files. And here we have these images. So let's select all of these and let's click on open. And we can see all the images are uploaded. Now we can go ahead and get the links from here. So let's click on this first image. And this is the image for websites. So let's copy the URL. So we can just click on this button called copy URL to clipboard. And let's go back and paste it for the website's image. So here, instead of images/websites, I'll just paste the link. And let's do the same for here. So this is basically the link of the mobile image and this is the link of the desktop image. Right now we are just setting both of them to the same images. And then the next one over here is this image right here. So it is for SEO. So let's copy this and let's find SEO over here. And this is the SEO image. So let's paste the link over here and let's do the same over here. And then we have debugging. So let's copy this, go back and paste it over here and over here. And then we have branding. So let's copy this and let's scroll down and let's paste it for branding and over here. And then lastly we have this image right here for applications. So let's copy this and let's scroll up, and here we need to add the image and here. Right now let's go ahead and click on publish and publish, and we can see that the post has been published. So let's click on view post, and here we have the design displayed. And if you hover over this, we can see that the hover effect is working fine, but we have some problems in the styling. So let's right click over here and go to inspect, and here we have this image hover container, and here we can see that there is a max width added by the theme. So we need to add our own max width. So let's go ahead and add a max width for this image hover container. So let's go to the CSS, and here we have the image hover container. So here let's type max width and let's set it to 1200 pixels. And let's also add important over here so that this line of CSS is more important than the theme CSS. And we'll also bring all these text to the center. So inside the feature, let's type text align center. And now let's go ahead and click on update. And let's go back to our post and let's reload this page. And now we can see we have this width of 1200 pixels. And if you hover over this, everything is working all right. Let's take a look at the mobile version. And this is how the mobile version looks, and everything is looking all right. So that's basically how you can add this image hover effect to your WordPress website. Alright, so that's basically it for this video. I will leave the link of the source code in the description of this video, and if you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.